Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I am Matt, and today we're going to have a brief video about hop bets. What is a hop bet? Well, a hop bet is a single roll of the dice, and you're going to guess what the results of that single roll is. Okay, so one of the most popular hop bets, it's not really called a hop bet, but is the field bet. It works similarly. So if you bet on the field, so you bet $5 on the field, and the dice roll 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, or 12, you will get paid 1-to-1 on that number. Okay, so $5 field and a 4 rolls, you get paid 1-to-1. Okay, if you bet a $5 field and a 6 rolls, the 5, 6, 7, and 8 are not in the field. One roll of the dice, you lose that $5. Okay? So that's the concept behind a hop bet is. A hop bet is the next roll of the dice. There's 3 primary places on the casino felt where you can place a hop bet. The first is this area here. It's in the proposition area, and it's in the lower section of the area here. You see a 2, 3, 11, yo 11, and a 12. Okay, so here they are. Here's a 2, there's a 3, there's a yo, and there's a 12. Okay, so these are all single roll bets. If on the next roll of the dice, let's say a 3 rolls, you would win whatever you placed here, bet. It's usually $15 to every one you bet. So if you bet $1, you would get paid 15 here. Okay? Now, these 4 configurations of the dice are actually together called a horn bet. And if you place a horn bet, there's usually a place somewhere down here where you throw in increments of 4 chips, and you say $4 horn. The dealer will say bet, and he'll place it in the area wherever that is where it says horn. And now you essentially have $1 on each of these numbers for one roll. Okay? If it rolls anything else, like a 9, you lose. Okay? But if it rolls a, let's say, a AC-doocy, and you have a $1 and a $4 horn bet, then you would win $15 for every one that you had here. Okay, so that's the first place you could find horn bets. Horn bets are single roll bets. The second place you'll find horn bets on the felt is typically within this area. It's going to be between the 2 dealers and in front of the boxman. All right, now there may or may not be an area for little rectangles or ovals or something with hop bets. And if it's not here, you can ask the dealer, hey, do you accept hop bets? Typically, they will say yes, and then the dealer and the boxman will work out your bet and identify it as such. This way, you're paid out correctly. All right, so a hop bet, you can hop any number. Remember, we already did the 2, 3, 11, and 12. You can also hop the 4, 5, 6, the 7 we'll get into, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so let's talk about hopping the 4. So there's 2 ways for a 4 to land. That's a 1, 3, and a 2, 2. Right. There's also 2 ways to roll a. Let's do a 5 here. This makes more sense. Okay, there's 2 ways to hop a 5. There's a 2, 3, and there's a 1, 4. Let me find my 4. Okay, and there's 2 ways to hop the 5. So you can hop the 4, or you can hop the 5. Usually, the minimum bet for hop bets is $1. Okay. And you can bet on any configuration of these dice. There'll be one for the 6s, there'll be one for the 8, there'll be a section for 9s and 10s also in this area. And you could say, hey dealer, hop the 2, 3. And they'll say bet, and they'll put your chip in front of the 2, 3 area, or they'll mark it by the boxman. That's a 2, 3 bet. What you're betting on is the next configuration of the dice to be a 2 and a 3. And because that wasn't a 2 and a 3, you lose. Okay, you can say, hey, hop the 1, 4, hop the 1, 3. Let's say bet, roll the dice. It's not a 1, 3 or a 1, 4, you lose. Okay, pretty simple. Let's say you want to bet on the 5 coming, like you know there's going to be a 5 coming, but you want to cover it more than a place bet. So a $6 place bet here will pay you $7, okay? But this bet stays up for the entirety of the hand, okay? So you could hit $7 and then another $7 and another $7 every time a 5 lands. But the hop bet, again, you're betting on a single roll. So let's say, hey, I want to hop the 5 2 ways. Hop the 5 2 ways. That's the one way, that's the other way. And that covers both ways the 5 can be rolled. So you're hopping the 1-4 and the 2-3, 2 ways. Now, if you do this, you have to bet in increments of 2. You can't throw $7 up there and say, hop the 5 2-way. Okay, I'm sorry, sir, but you have to bet in increments of 2. And what they'll do is they'll throw you back a single, take your 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they will place $3 in front of that number and $3 in front of that number. Okay, so you've hopped the 5 2 ways, betting $3 on each. Right. So what does a hop bet pay? Well, if it's not a hard way hop, we'll get into that in a second. If it's not a hard way hop, you get paid $15 for every unit that you bet. Now, some casinos are different and some have different payout amounts, but typically you're going to find $15 to every one that you bet. So if the dice roll and it's a 2-3, woohoo, you win this hop bet. But this hop bet loses, right? Because even though it was a 5, it wasn't a 1-4-5. So this is a loss, but you get $15 here. So 1, 2, 3. Essentially, you've won $14 because of the $1 loss here. Make sense? Okay. So for every easy way number, like the 2-3, the 1-4, and the 1-3, you'll be paid $15 for one. So let's get rid of these dice. All right, so now let's talk about the 4. The 4 has 2 different ways to land, a 1-3 and a 2-2. So if you bet $1 on each of these hop bets, you say, hop the 4 2-way, and they say bet. Or you could say, hop the 1-3. Ooh, there's some thunder there. Or hop the 4 2-way, right? 1-way, 2-way. If the 1-3 hits, which will look like this, you lose this, but again, you're paid 15 because this is an easy way for the 4 to land. All right? So you end up winning $14 because this one is a loss. Let's say now that you bet hop the 4 2-way and you get a 2-2 to roll. Okay? So 2-way is a hard way, which is different than this hard way down here, okay? This hard way stays up for the entirety of the roll until a 4 or a 7 is rolled, okay? So this is what they call hard way 4 all day, because it'll stay up there all day until a 7 or a 4 rolls, okay? But if you hop the hard 4, you lose the 1-3 because it didn't land 1-3, it landed 2-2. So you lose that, but then this pays 30 to 1, okay? Because it's the hard way for the 4 to land, all right? And I'll just show you the difference between this. If you bet a $1 hard 4 and this lands, you would win $7, okay? Or 8-4-1. That's 8 for 1. That's 7-2-1, which is the same exact amount. That's 8 for 1 because they take your chip and then give it back to you as 8. If it's 7-2-1, you get 7 to every one that you bet. So you'd win $7 here, but then it can stay up. You can keep this bet going all day long. You can parlay. You could press it all the way up and have an $8 4, and then if an $8 4 wins, it's $8 times 7, okay? Which would be 64 minus 8. Which do the math on, which I think is 56. No, it's 50. Yeah, 56. So you win $56, and this would stay up all day until a 4 rolls, and it could be this 4. It could be the 1-3-4 that it comes down. But on a 2-5, you also lose here. Make sense? All right, great. So the hard way to win pays on a hop bet pays 30. The easy way pays 15 for every one chip that you bet. All right. So that's the second way that you can place a hop bet or a one-roll bet on the felt. The last way is something called the any 7. And that's here, located on, usually again, within the proposition area. And the any 7 pays on the next roll, and the next roll only, for a 2-5, a 3-4, or a 1-6. Okay, actually make this a little different here so you can see the difference. 5, give me a 2. All right. So this is the 3 ways that a 7 can roll. All right. Now they're all considered easy ways because there's no hard way to roll a 7. So each of these will pay. If we do a 3-way hard way, right? 1, 2, 3 ways. Each of these will pay 1, 2, 3. But remember, you lose these 2, so you end up netting $13 for every 1 unit that you bet. Okay, so you lose those 2, but you win 15, netting 13 bucks. Make sense? All right. So there's a difference between this bet and this bet. They're both one-roll bets, but this bet pays a little worse than this bet once you get above $1 bet. Okay? So here's the thing. If you bet this any 7 here for $1, you're basically putting 1/3 of your dollar on each one of these. So if you want the same payout as these bets, 15 to 1, you actually have to bet in increments of $3. Make sense? Because if you put 1 up here, you're only going to win 1, 2, 3, 4 bucks, right? For a total of 5. If you have $3 up here, you'll be paid $15. Okay? Or no, excuse me. You paid less than that. So if you have 3 up here, 1, 2, 3, you pay $12 because it's $4 for every chip. So 5 for 1, which is 15. Right? 5 for 1, which is 15. Or 4 to 1, which is a $12 bet. All right? So once you start getting up into this range, you'd have to bet $6 here for the any 7. All right. Any 7 bets. This will win, and it's essentially $2 on each configuration, right? So you have a $6 bet here on the any 7. This will pay you $32. So let's, actually I'm going to put this in singles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you win $30. But here's the thing. You essentially had $2. Let's say that rolled. You had $2 on the 3-4, and you had $2 on the 1-6. So they will give you $26. That is your net amount. All right? Makes sense, right? So it's $26. If you, let's say the 3-4 rolls and you have $2, again, these 2 are losses, that'll pay $30, which is essentially $30 minus 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Cool. So at this dollar level, it's essentially the same, it's the same payout. Let's get into something a little crazy. Let's say you are a guy with some cash to blow, and you decide, hey, I want to hop the 7 3-way. 3-way hop the 7. And you want to do the same bet here as the 7 any 7 bet. Each of these bet is $15, okay? Let's say that you bet $15 on the any 7. So the any 7 will pay you the 15 times 4 is going to be $60. All right? Whoops, another one of those. So if you bet a $15 any 7, you'll get $60. Now, if you hop the 7, let's say it's the 1-6 that wins this time, okay? You lose these 2 bets, but this $5 pays $80. Okay? So here's the difference. You bet 15 each time. This one will net you $80 minus 10, which is 70. This $15 bet wins you 60. So there's a difference in price when you start hopping the 7 over about $2 for each way. All right, I'm going to get into hopping the 7 on my next video. I would like to have you watch it up here. We're going to do a betting strategy also about hopping the 7s and when you'd want to do it and when you wouldn't want to do it. But thanks a lot. I hope you guys learned something. I am Matt. I appreciate your attention. Put some questions in the comments below. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy to answer those questions, guys, and I will see you at the tables. Bye-bye.